take you there. You see, I've been around the globe. I've seen a lot, babe. But I wanna see what's above. I wanna see what's below. Just tell me where you wanna go. You can name the place, yeah, you can name the time. We can leave it all behind. No stop or rewind. Before we running out of time. I can see us both flying around, chilling in a pool right by the coast. I can see our clothes down on the floor. I can see it all, baby, we should go. Get set, go, take off. Tell me where you wanna go. North Pole, East, West, baby, I'll go anywhere. We'll take a plane and take a boat. I don't really care, just as long as it will get us there. Cause I wanna see what's above. I wanna see what's below. Just tell me where you wanna go. You can name the place, yeah, you can name the time. We can leave it all behind. No stop or rewind. Before we running out of time. I can see us both flying around, chilling in a pool right by the coast. I can see our clothes down on the floor. I can see it all, baby, we should go. Get set, go, take off. We can leave it all behind. Why? Before we running out of time. I can see us both flying around, chilling in a pool right by the coast. I can see our clothes down on the floor. I can see it all, baby, we should both get set, go, take off.
I'm alone here on my island, floating in the sky. I'm high above the world I used to know, and I'm far from any danger, safe from any failure. Guarded, I found shelter in the storm. I'm hiding in the blue, safe between the clouds. In the blue, where I can't be found. Was a soldier in the legions, fought against the demons, fought against the monsters made of gold. But they stormed across Arcadia, following the nature, washed away the place I once called home. I'm hiding in the blue, safe between the clouds. In the blue, where I can't be found. I'm hiding in the blue. As it goes by, battle scarred, my own worst enemy. I'm hiding in the blue, safe between the clouds. In the blue, where I can't be found. I'm hiding in the blue. On our own, we jump, we fall, forgotten world. We're running out, running out, running out now. Won't hide away anymore like yesterday, 'cause we're running out now. You can see it in our eyes, and we won't look away. This time we're here to stay. So we're running out now. We fight and we collide, crashing every day. And if you feel afraid, we won't leave you. Time has come to stand our ground and close the door to paralyzed, stereotype, fucked up minds. Every day there's a choice where to go, and you can turn it around. You can see it in our eyes, and we won't look away. This time we're here to stay. So we're running out now. We fight and we collide, crashing every day. And if you feel afraid, we won't leave you. There's a man sitting next to you with a scarf around his head, and when it's down to the last end, he could be the one that saves you. And there's a woman driving in the car, and she talking her phone when you're crossing the street, and she could be the one that kills you. You can see it in her eyes, that we won't look away. It's how we're here to stay. So we're running out now. We fight and we collide, crashing every day.
I need another story, something to get off my chest. My life gets kinda boring, need something that I can confess. Till all my sleeves are stained red from all the truth that I said. Come by it honestly, I swear. Thought you saw me wink, no, I've been on a break. So tell me what you want to hear, something that'll light those ears. Sick of all the insanity, I'm gonna give all my secrets away. It's time, don't need another perfect life. Don't care if critics ever jump the line. I'm gonna give all my secrets away. I'm gonna give all my secrets away. My God, amazing how we got this far. It's like we're chasing all those stars. Who's driving shiny big black cars? And every day I see the news, all the problems that we could solve. And when a situation rises, just write it into an album, send it straight to gold. I don't really like my flow, no, so tell me what you want to hear, something that'll light those ears. Sick of all the insanity, I'm gonna give all my secrets away. It's time, don't need another perfect life. Don't care if critics ever jump the line. I'm gonna give all my secrets away. I'm gonna give all my secrets away. Got no reason, got no shame, got no family I can't blame. Just don't let me disappear, I'ma tell you everything.
Cold at the touch, dead in the eyes. No signs of life no more. I put your love under the knife. Leave me to die here all alone. No signs of life no more, no. A crying dove may never fly. It's black and white. Yeah. Black and white. Oh, 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 oh. It's black and white. Come on, baby. Love, no more, baby. Black and white. Come on, baby. Love, no more, baby. It's black and white, just let me go. It's only right. For all I know, it's only matter. It's calico, it's black and white. White, white, white. Just let me go. It's only right. For all I know, it's only matter. It's calico, it's black and white. White, white, white. Black and white. Yeah. Black and white. Oh. 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 Just black and white. It's black and white.
Brother, sister, can you hear that? Our heartbeat cutting through the ether. Star drifters, can you feel that? One love can make us all believers. A generation of renegades, we don't have to stay alone. So brother, sister, can you see our light guide us home? We'll paint the sky with our energy, so they can see us from outer space. Through the dark we will radiate. They're gonna see us from outer space. All the faces in this ocean come together, making memories in motion. We're the traces of the chosen. Let's come together with a heart wide open. A generation of renegades, we don't have to stay alone. So brother, sister, find your spaceship and let it take you home. We'll paint the sky with our energy, so they can see us from outer space. Through the dark we will radiate. They're gonna see us from outer space. They're gonna see us from outer space. Brother, sister, star drifters. We're the traces of the chosen.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the grand finals of the Frost Whiteout Valorant tournament. I'm still Starcoin Hero. That still Hachimachi. We're in for a banger of a best of three. We got, of course, M2, who we just saw take down Ball Babies in the semifinals, versus Divine, who we have not seen on stream just yet. Hachi, what are we thinking about these two titans?
Well, I'm thinking Divine, they've got to be good to have gotten this far in grand finals. And M2, I don't need any belief in them. I just saw them prove what they can do. Especially when we're talking about the different maps this time, we've still got Ascent in the pool, but we're also going to Haven and Bind before we get to Ascent. So I'm very curious to see how M2 will mix it up. But I don't want to get too deep into the hard hitting analysis without telling you some important information, Starcoin, that you don't know between the last time we saw M2 and now, which is in between the maps, I did friend request Gnar and Dusty from M2, and I only got a friend request back from Gnar. So I don't know how that's going to factor into your casting, but my head is a little scrambled with this new information.
What was the information that you gathered exactly?
I'll break it down again. I friend requested Gnar and Dusty, but only Gnar friended me back. Is this a shot from Dusty at Frost Esports, or is he just somebody who gets so many friend requests he can't go through all of them in time for the next map? It's hard to say. It's going to influence my casting definitely when I see Dusty, who will not be my friend, fighting it out on Haven against Divine.
Don't really know how to think about that, but let's go ahead and get into the maps. Hachi, we know the maps. First map will be Haven. M2 will be starting off on defense on all three of these maps, and
Yeah.
of course, Haven, the first map we're going to. It's the map with 3 bomb sites. What are we feeling about this one?
I think it's, you don't want to start on defense with M2. That's a rough spot to be in on Haven. It's always easier to attack because there are just more sites, more places to hit, more surface area for the attackers to work with. But that being said, I think M2 have shown they've got serious chops. They're not afraid to get aggressive even when they're playing on defense. So I'm expecting to see a lot of mid pushes out of this B site from M2 based on what we saw before. And I'm curious to see how Divine can absorb that or if they're going to be aggressive again themselves.
Yeah, we will find out. And the other 2 maps we'll be going to will be Bind for the second map and Ascent for the decider if we will need it. But honestly, these 2 teams are absolutely amazing. I think this is going to be a pretty close match, and it will not surprise me at all if we do, in fact, go to a map 3.
No, me neither. And I think when we're looking at Haven, especially just because we're coming into it now very quickly, I want to keep an eye out for if we're going to see no Sova again, if Fade has completely replaced Sova for these 2 teams. Because if we're not seeing him on Ascent from N2, I'm not expecting to see him on Haven. And that's just a surprising way for the game to have evolved for me. Fade has obviously been dominant in some recent tournaments, but I didn't quite expect it to be no Sova ever again.
Yeah, I don't believe we have seen Sova on the map. I think we saw him once on the very first match of the day, but other than that, Sova has been non-existent on the broadcast. But here we go, a couple of lock-ins, an Omen and a Sky on the side of M2. Gnar Alma just hovering that chamber will not surprise me at all if you decide to lock that in. Chamber, he is very, very deadly with a Frenchman and the sniper rifle.
The sniper rifle obviously gets the most attention, but I think on this map especially, you need a trip to hold your flank. If you're not using chamber, you gotta have a cypher, you gotta have a killjoy, something to keep an eye out for the ever-present flanking on Haven, coming out of B, coming out of C when you're trying to push down A. So I will expect for Skexy to lock in that chamber as well, and maybe in short order. Let's see.
Select your agent.
Looks like they're just waiting out all the time. They got some time to kill. I mean, they might as well just take all the time. It's not like they are constrained to a limit. Reitman's was hovering the Yoru for a sec, but decided not to throw in. Switch to the right choice, which is Omen.
Yeah, I gotta stand by them in that choice. You want to have smokes more than you want the double duelist at this point in the meta, which is to say, every single point in the meta. Good choice there. And both teams choosing Omen. We don't see a Brimstone. We don't see an Astra. I like that. I think Omen on Haven is classic. You get that TP, put a little fear into their hearts, and of course you've got a lot of great spots to use your Shadow Step to get up into unusual positions.
And of course, you cannot forget about the Into the Shadows ultimate, where you can just teleport on the complete other side of the map. Haven, such a huge area to work with. You can really find some great spots and great opportunities to use that ultimate in. Like, say you fake the push A and then you rotate over to B with that ultimate. It is a huge, huge asset if you know what you're doing.
Yeah, agreed. And we're getting into these first buys now as we go into the pistol round. It looks like Gnar has invested heavily into the Headhunter. Probably a trip as well. Yep, we see that go down on C long. I'm curious to see if Skexy will do the same, and it looks like they have. 6 bullets in the Headhunter for both of the chambers, and the push is coming through C long. Only 1 trip holding this.
That there is the sky in garage, and that is Neebs. But this push should be pretty easy onto the C site, as there's only the trademark there. Neebs has the intel, but they're going to get smoked off. That's going to allow Divine easy access to C site, and they're going to get the spike down in the corner.
Yeah, kind of an unusual play. Oh, but Skexy picks up Neebs. Narama finds Skexy, and we're off. It's 4v4 on the retake here. Spike already planted, and the attackers are backing up to C long 2 playing on site. And there's more trades coming in. Getting pretty aggressive on behalf of the defenders now. Can they find one more? Yes, Puffy is still good for it. M2 down to just 1 player, but that player has got the spike all to themselves. Taps it to force the attackers up. Will not be stunned out by the breach, and doesn't manage to find a head. Divine take the first pistol. Pretty convincingly.
Very convincingly. The push was very aggressive and secured C sites pretty effortlessly. The retake was coming in pretty close. Great attempt from Puffy, but the frenzy shots just could not land. And in the end, it was Exene taking that final kill and securing round number 1, as here we see Asta bringing out a second round Vandal and Lights.
Yeah, that's surprising. And we've just got Spectres for the rest of the team besides Skexy, who's probably just bought up again and is saving 2,000 credits. That's also an interesting play here out of Divine.
That it is a heavy push. Look at that. We got 4 near the A site, 2 from sewers, and 2 from long. But of course, there is Skexy over in mid with the Headhunter looking to cause some problems. There's Asta getting the first pick of the round, putting the Vandal to good use. Vivian taking down Neebs, and then Shiny Trains as well. Puffy, classic in hand. Double kill is secured, looking to make it a triple, but Reitman spraying through the smoke will send him back to his home, which is sewers.
Now look at this lurk coming in from Skexy. It's totally unexpected because it looked like it had been cleared by Gnar, but Skexy is just a little bit later. Doesn't even matter. Exene cleans up on site. Still, only 2 alive from the attack because the defenders read this play. 5 stacked that A site. 1 went exploring, but man, I mean, what a read coming out of M2. Incredible job there.
That it was, but they just did not have the firepower to hold them off for long. A couple of kills came out, but in the end, they were overpowered simply due to the lack of firepower. But now, round number 3, the bonus round is coming in, and it is going to be up to M2 to try to take this round with as little casualties as possible. But Divine actually going back to the C side, a little bit more of a mid push instead of the C. Might be a C and mid split. And there's Gnar holding up on top of the box, swings around, and Asta takes him down. 5 versus 4 here as they make their way up into the C site. It's going to be up to Puffy to try to hold it down. Puffy will fall. Shiny Trains, though, good position. The paint shell grenade from Vivian will shut Shiny Trains down. It's going to be a 2 versus 3 retake up to Neebs and Dusty.
Yep. And Divine came into this round with 2 Buckies, both of which have been upgraded to Phantoms. It's looking like a very good round for Divine. Even if they don't get 3 on the board, they've done enough damage that they will have an easier time in the next couple of rounds. Neebs, though, trying to work their way through CT. So is Dusty. So reliable in the last game. Let's see how they do on the Neon. Not enough. Vivian will clean it up. 3K on the round for them, and they get 3 for their team.
5-1 on the game so far, and the bonus round from M2 completely shut down, and they're going to be forced to lie by yet again. Meanwhile, Divine is just slowly building up their economic structure. Look at it. The poorest player on their team has $1,600 to his name, and at this point, that is a really, really good spot to be in.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, M2 we saw in the last game, excellent players, but these attackers are looking Divine, you know? They're really living up to the name.
Ha
Yeah. I can tell you weren't really laughing there, Starcoin. You don't have to.
I was laughing. You gotta trust me. You just gotta trust me.
Yeah, you're right.
But here we go. C push Puffy, and I believe that is Nar just kind of chilling out right there. Puffy will fall back and leaves Nar to try to keep this site held down. All they've got is a classic, as well as the headhunter. Takes a shot and will get hunted out by the Prowler. That'll leave him blind, but it looks like Divine is actually going to rotate back and try to make their way either through mid or through to A. Neebs, we're going to cause some problems. Will find the headshot. He's going to get stunned by the fault line. And Exene, great trade as they make their way towards the A site. Rolling Thunder from Shiny Train takes down Vivian. There's Dusty using the Sheriff to perfection, taking down Exene and putting this round in their favor by a long shot. 4 versus 2.
30 seconds left.
What a utility combo there, using the Neon to get out there nice and quick while they were still stunned up from Shiny Trains. That was an excellent little play from M2, a nice little set piece that they seem to have in their back pocket. And these two A players still looking very dangerous, even though their weapons are not quite as good as the attackers. The call is probably coming in. You can see those rotates. And it looks like, yes, Puffy is going to go for the flank. Only one attacker left, and they will go down to Dusty. M2 starting to pick up some form here as we head into round 5.
The thrifty round strips the guns away from Divine as well as puts their team on the board and gives them a little break, and the momentum might be what they can use as a fire to try to heat up their momentum themselves. You gotta start getting some rounds on the board. There's the first one, and you just gotta keep it up. Once again, they stripped the guns away, and now everyone has a good gun except for Nar. They have a Spectre, but you can get a lot of work done with a Spectre, believe me.
Especially Chamber, getting into some ratty positions and then teleporting out. But it looks like it's going to be a slow creep up A. Have M2 read this. They're peeking it, but they aren't holding the angle. They could allow Divine into sewers. I'm not sure if they're considering this. Utility invested. Dusty not scared off the angle, but this is going to be a little bit of trouble for them, a little bit of pressure. They're full blind up against this box. Position still expected, and Vivian finds Dusty.
Great utility uses by Vivian. I've not seen that in a while. Using the blast pack to mess up the spray of Dusty and secure that kill as they make their way on to the A site. Showstopper comes out. It is a Rosa. No kills will be found. Skexy, Chamber Battle comes out on top. That is Nar falling. There's Exene taking down Neeb. Shiny Trains makes the double happen. It's all on Reitmans, but Reitmans takes the first one. It's still a 1 versus 1. This is a very winnable situation. Paranoia takes him off the plant. Puffy knows where he is, but so does Reitman. Reitman swings around. Reitman gets stinked through the wall. Left. Puffy's still on a very good amount of HP right here. Reitman, he baits it. He's going to try to swing this. Going to look to secure the kill. Oh, no.
I think that Reitman thinks that Puffy went to heaven. Puffy using these sound cues almost to confirm that. Reitman's tucked into hell. Might be expecting the drop. No, still thinks that Puffy is coming from CT. Wow, when this smoke falls, it's anyone's game. A lot of utility here for Puffy.
Oh, no.
What will they do?
Reitman's made a noise. Puffy knows exactly where he is. And Reitman's will fall. Just like that, M2 secure their second round. Why did you reload, Reitman's? Why?
Why, Reitman's? Why? Excellent 1v1 there by Puffy. I mean, that was tense. That was really anyone's game. But as we're coming into this 6th round, I think we're starting to see both teams have felt each other out. An early read from M2 obviously felt good, but I think now they've pressured each site. We haven't seen them go B, but we have seen a little bit of pressure on Garage, a little bit of pressure in these middle areas, if not up mid exactly itself. So hopefully as these rounds progress, we're going to see more and more of this back and forth from these teams. And I don't know why I said that. Of course we are. That's the game.
Let's play.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see it as well. The back and forth games are most often the best type of games. However, there is Gexy with the Tour de Force ultimate over near the C lawn. 2 people on C, so there's a possibility that he gets a couple of kills here, but he just kind of slowly creeping up C long. Pretty dry. Shiny Trains turns around at the wrong time. Shiny Trains, though, turns back around. Interesting choice from Skexy. and it's going to cost him the tour de force.
Yeah, I agree. Very interesting. Neebs finds another, and M2 is really coming into their own here in the 6th round. They've already gotten 2 completely for free, a little damage, I suppose, onto Neebs, but nothing they're sweating right now. And it looks like these attackers, Divine is still hoping to get a C hit.
There they are. There's a kill from Exene. They'll make this a little bit easier. And now, Omen. Rough spot to be in. That's Puffy. Paint Shells brings him down to 68 HP. Vivian, double satchel play, gets stunned by his teammates. Old Exene caught between shooting a rock and a hard place. Meanwhile, he gets hit in the face with it. Plant will go down. Exene! The ult and Dusty finds the double! Secures round 3, ties this game up. And Nar Alma doesn't even have to use the op once.
Unreal. I mean, that was a crazy round here out for Divine. I don't know what Skexy was hoping to accomplish, but by being noted early on, Puffy saw them with the jump spotting. It just meant they were aware that Skexy could try to work down C long, and they suspected it for some reason. Shiny Train's picking up an easy kill there. Neebs picking up another, and 3 left alive for M2. It looks like their economy is just on fire at this point.
That it is. Look at it. Very broken by from Divine off of such a hot start. We're still early on in this game, though, so you cannot count them out just yet. But, man, they're going to have to get things turned around pretty quickly here because the economy is in the dumps right now. And Nar Alma, he's already got a lot of money, but he's just going to use the tour de force to keep as much in the bank as possible. And we know what he can do with the tour de force because he has really wreaked havoc before.
Yeah, Nar is somebody you've got to be worried about when you hear that that ult line come out. But look at this. We're finally seeing some exploration up mid. It looks like Divine are somewhat committed to B, and they've got no trip holding this push out of A, so the flank is going to come through totally unnoted. And as long as nobody pushes up C long, I think it's going to be absolutely free here. Obviously, we know that, but M2 doesn't know that, so they are holding back a little bit.
They are, and Divine, easy site take. B is all theirs. One-man advantage, but the Rolling Thunder looking to change that as the retake is coming in. Nar on the flank as well as Dusty. Both finding a kill that's going to slow Asta down. He's in such a rough spot, he can just get sprayed through the smoke. That is Dusty with another one. Puffy with the op as well. Vivian looking to deny this retake. 1 versus 4. Sheriff in hand, he's got to fight it all.
Yep, and can he find one? No, Dusty will shut it down with a 3K on the round as Nar is defusing. Looks like it's going to be passed off so that another ult can be farmed up. But wow, I mean, this is the thing. You said it, and you're not wrong. It was an easy site take for Divine, but look where they planted this spike. They planted it right in front of B, perfect for window. And if you're going to take the site that easily, you got to be thinking, hey, where are the defenders? They're not here. And we need window control to keep this plant secure. They turn around, they've already lost 2 players, and the round was over the second that window control fell into M2's hand. 4-3, and now both teams are able to buy up into this next round. Let's see how Divine adapts.
Let's see. They got the full buy. There was, I believe, a couple of kills. I think it was 1 last round, so they get a little bit of extra money, but ultimately don't think it's enough to make too much of a difference. They got the full buy. 1,400 in the bank for Reitman's, the richest player of theirs. No, operator in hand, pops the rendezvous down, and he is out of dodge. Wow. Easy pick, easy getaway, 5 versus 4. He's gonna put some pressure on Divine.
That was really something. What an opening pick. And once again, even though they lost that opening duel on C, they're still pushing up. Divine really love to keep pushing the C, keep forcing the issue, and Vivian finds 2, Nar and Shiny. Keep the round even. The spike will go down.
Simply a movement diff right there from Vivian. 3 versus 3 retake up to Puffy, Neebs, and of course Dusty on the flank. They're kind of compressed here. Divine's pretty compressed here, so this might be an opportunity for him. The Nightfall is going to come out. The headphones have been unplugged for 2 out of the 3 players alive. The clock is ticking for Dusty. Oh! Did Dusty just stun himself?
They did, yeah. They stunned themselves. 2 defenders, 1 attacker left. Can Vivian do it all? No. Vivian called on almost to ace to close that round out for Divine. But wow, I mean, that is hard to see from Dusty. You gotta think that maybe that wouldn't have happened if they'd accepted my friend request between games. But it's taking a toll on them mentally, and they stun themselves up when they're trying to push C long there. That's rough to see.
Not only is it taking an effect on Dusty's mental, it's also taking effect on my good friend Hachimachi's mental. Don't worry. I'm sure it's not personal. You gotta get past it, man. It's okay.
No, I'm fine. You know, it's nice to know what you're going to talk with your therapist about ahead of time. You know, it's nice to go in with some material. But anyway, speaking of going in, it looks like it's going to be a fast A hit out of Divine here. Really rough weaponry for Divine. And Dusty still in this position. That's a lot of utility. Neebs gets the pick there to start the round off. Still sticking to this A site. It looks like Divine do not want to rotate when they lose an opening duel.
That they don't. And if Nar pushes up, he might be able to deny the rotate if they try it. There's Exene falling. Neebs on 3 for the round. 2 more for the ace. It is a real possibility as it's Asta and Reitman in an awkward spot. Asta somehow getting away without getting hurt by the aftershock, but not sure how that happens, but it did. Here's Reitman. The bird coming out. He's going to get flashed. And now it's Reitman's and Asta still stuck in that rough spot. Spike is down at long. They're caught over in sewers. There's Puffy taking down Asta, and it's their Puffy taking down Reitman's as well. A little cheeky double kill to end us off and to put M2 halfway to match point.
Yeah, that was really something. You can see now Divine have called in a timeout. I gotta say, you called it out during the round, and I'm confused too. I don't know how the aftershock didn't find Asta there. It looked like they were standing right on it, but maybe it came out of the box that was in front of them, so we were seeing the animation, but none of the damage is going to Asta. I think you could see sort of by where they were stuck, they expected it to not hit them, so clearly not a bug, just something I'm not aware of. That was pretty interesting. I thought that would have cleared them out.
Yeah, I agree, but nonetheless, it did not. And now we got a timeout coming out from Astra. Hello, Raze. How are you? And one thing that you've definitely got to talk about is the momentum. Momentum is solidified in favor of M2. It's not like they won a couple rounds, you won one, they won a couple rounds. No, you started off with 3 and they have 1 out. So they are absolutely rolling like a freight train that does not want to be stopped. You're going to have to find a way to stop them and derail this train and try to bring it back and go into halftime either tied up or as close to tied as you can get, because you are really struggling.
Yeah, Divine are in a rough position here, and even when it comes to the ult cycles, we are seeing Divine is coming up on a lot of ults soon. They've already got that into the shadows that you talked about in the pregame, but they have 2 on M2 as well, so it's not a complete blowout in the ult economy. And money-wise, I mean, M2 might never have another eco round in this half. I think the next 3 rounds they're going to be able to buy whatever the heck they want, unless they keep throwing money at off. Oh, speaking of ops, Nar finds Asta, but Skexy trades it out in Garage to start the round off. It's a 4v4, and it looks like these attackers are going up mid again. Divine love this play. Can they get it to work again? No! Puffy takes out Exene, and another kill on B. Reitmans is into the site, but it's 3v3 now, and it's looking kind of messy. The window control will be garnered by Divine. Oh, I spoke too soon. Neebs finds the pick. Brutal. Brutal.
I think Vivian thought Exene or Shiny Trains was a sky blind, but instead it was not. It was a breach.
I see what you mean. They played anti-flash with a player. Not as effective as when you do it with a flash, I can tell you that much. Yikes. I mean, that's too bad. Although I do like the awareness there, the evolution from Divine to say, this time, let's make sure we have window control. A little too late, though, because as they went back to get it, Neebs read that and cut them off. Really smart by M2. They look so clean.
That they do. They are very clean, very efficient. They are very coordinated. It seems like everything they are doing, there's always someone to help them out. One thing I'm liking from Divine was they were not finding the first picks. However, they were trading them off. So if they can keep that up and they can open the defense up a little bit more, then they will be in a pretty good situation. But you gotta find a kill at some point. Skexy does, but Puffy, first blood yet again. Omen with an op. Definitely the weirdest thing I have seen today. But, yeah.
Yeah,
Asta.
the double op. Both shut down.
Yeah, unfortunate. But Puffy still looking to cause some problems. And now there's Neebs on the flank. Puffy, 3rd kill for him now. But Skexy shuts them down right afterwards. Skexy gonna get the spike down. It's going to be up to Neebs and Dusty on this retake. The ult is popped. Dusty bringing it out with the finger lightning. I forget what it's called. Last man, the shot of step gets him out of it. 1 versus 1 here. Reitmans versus Neebs. Ring around a Rosie. Pocket full of posies. And a face full of bullets for Reitmans. Neebs wins this round. 1v1 is secured. And we're going into round 12 with a score of 8-3.
I mean, that was a clean round from Neebs. They're not a flashy player, but they really know how to pull it out when their team needs it. They clutch it up. I gotta call it out. Dusty had a great read on where Reitmans was, and that shadow step play was just beautiful. Just turns, like, gets the shadow step out, looks around, immediately gets the pick onto Dusty. Wow, what a round out of Reitmans. Now, I think if we can see an 8-4 half, then that's obviously what Divine wants. I think that's what they need coming into their defensive half.
The ultimate ability for Neon is called the Overdrive, by the way,
Right.
which I referred to as the finger lightning. But
I mean,
Emperor Palpatine we got right here. But anyway, last round in the half. Seaside is wide open, by the way. And I don't want to say it, but we got a potential for the scoreline of 9-3. And I'm not going to say the C word, but there's definitely something that goes on with a scoreline of 9-3.
I mean, we'll see. We might be calling it a little too early. We might be C-wording it ourselves a little bit. As it looks like Divine have taken Seaside very convincingly. A couple of trades mid coming out from a little pinch they had there. 1 player left on site. Oh, sorry, I spoke too soon. 2 players left on site. 2 players C long. And it looks like another one will fall back into Cubby. Oh, but Dusty gets the angle on Asta and is looking to make their way up C long. They're aware of the possibility of Cubby, and they find the kill on Dexine. Do they expect a second? Yes! Not good for it, though, but they will be traded out by Neebs. And Puffy finds Reitmans on the site to wrap the half up, and you called it! You called it, Starcoin.
9-3 at the half. 9 rounds in a row from M2 after such a hot start from Divine. Since that 4th round, it has been all M2. And Divine, they've just been playing flat, it seems. They just have not been playing at what I know they can play at.
Yeah, agree. I think they've had moments of brilliance, but I think M2 are just looking, like you said, coordinated. They have a read on this map, and it looks like they're shutting Divine down on every single push. But now, Divine don't have to worry about that anymore. Now Divine just get to react. They get to play off of M2 a little bit, and we will see how they can do here. Again, something to think about as we come into this first round of the second half. This was M2's map pick, so we will be going to Divine's map pick next. Maybe we'll see a little bit of a different look for them there.
That we will, but how this map ends up might just be decided by how this pistol round goes. It is M2 on the attack now, riding the wave of momentum. It is definitely easier to ride the wave of momentum going from defense onto offense than vice versa. So they might have an easier shot at this, but A side is wide open. Shiny Trains, all you have to do is hold double key and get on there.
Ooh, the haunt, though, scares them off a little bit. They wait it out, and now they're going to slowly walk on site, not giving any sound cues to the defense. And look at M2. What a great read they have on this map. They pulled attention over to the C site, and they got a absolutely free 5v5 retake. Looks like it's on the books.
We will see. They've got control over A site. Vivian misses the shot. That was the freest kill of their life, and they just missed it. It's going to be a 5 versus 5 retake here.
Oh, a bit of a whiffed smoke there. Nar, you can see, paying a little bit of attention to it as well. But they are aware of the player here. They pick one up. Vivian makes up for past mistakes and takes Nar out. It's traded quickly. And that means Heaven will be open, since I think Omen does not have 2 smokes on the offense. Shiny Trains gets a pick. And the players in CT are being contained. Reitmans finds 2. Skexy finds 1. It's all down to Puffy. Not up to the task this time. Wow. That was a necessary round for Divine.
That it was. Vivian and Skexy, last 2 alive, secure the 4th round, but they've still got a lot of work to do. Of course, it's not called the 9-3 CURSE for nothing. it is very easy to let that come off. 9-3, it seems like such a commanding lead.
Yeah.
But in the end, it's really not. It's only 6 rounds. Like, you triple the amount of rounds that your opponent had, but it's only 6 rounds. And we saw M2 take 9 rounds in a row.
That's true. That's true. It's definitely doable. I don't know if I'd say 6 rounds is nothing, but let's see if Divine can make it feel that way. They've got 3 attackers right here, but Reitman cleans 1 up. Exene finds 2 more. Maybe you're right. Maybe 6 rounds is just a formality. Shiny Train's looking to trade 1 back. Will pick up a bit of a better gun there, but the spike is recovered. This is rough news for M2, who I think might have forced a little bit into this round. Yeah.
Teleport's ready.
So there's Skexy, Headhunter in hand, taking down Shiny Trains, leaving it all up to Neves. 1 versus 4 with the Sheriff. The shot is missed, and now it's just going to rain. It's just going to rain utility down. And that will be Divine taking their 5th round as well, and just closing this lead to 4.
Yeah, I think we can agree. The second round, you win the pistol round. The next round, a bit of a formality. Now we're on to Divine's bonus round. It's hard to decide if you're going to bonus when you're at a 9-5 scoreline. Because, look, you've got momentum on your side. You don't want to mess up your economy and throw it away. But if they get to double digits, it's a much harder road to climb. Every round starts to count in M2's favor. And it looks like Divine have decided not to force up. They will be bonusing. They will be keeping these weapons through and just hoping they can hold on and get a couple picks.
On the attack is M2. They're favoring the A site. Got 3 playing near it. There's 2 over near mid. B site pretty wide open. So if Nar and Neebs are careful, they can push through and also maybe deny some pressure from Link, or deny some presence from Link.
Yeah, good point. And it looks like M2 are very aware that they have the more powerful guns and they don't want to lose anything. They're playing so carefully. Nar finds Reitman's feet, and that's enough. With no smokes, it's going to be much harder to retake a site when the spike goes down, if the spike gets planted. So now these defenders have to play a bit more aggressively to prevent that from happening.
5 versus 4, 45 seconds left. Oh no, Vivian and Asta rotating off of a site. Meanwhile, that's exactly when the push comes on in. The Haunt comes out. Dusty does not quite get spotted as one of their teammates shoots it out. Shiny Train will get the spike down. It's going to force a 4 versus 5 retake for the side of Divine. This is a really good look here for M2. They've got the guns advantage. They've got the positions advantage. They've got the spike down, and they just got to hold them. They will find double digits. There's Neebs taking down Skexy with the Vandal in hand. Dusty finds 1. Nar and Shiny Trains find 1 as well, and that will be it. Double digits has been secured, and M2 get themselves back on track.
Yep. That's, this is why it's a good news for Divine that they didn't force up. They give away the round, sure, but now they can buy into this round. They get the Phantoms, they get the Vandals that you'd expect, but they also put an op in the hands of Skexy. This could be very bad news for M2 if Skexy lives up to the chamber hype. You can see them setting up on top B, but also showing some presence over on C with that rendezvous. And, let's see how they use it. Let's see what happens. It looks like it's going to be a C push.
It does, but that might just favor Skexy. However, Skexy is playing over near mid. Neebs coming out on top of that exchange. Exene should not have lost that, and if he did, at forfeits he sight, and that's exactly what happened. Loses the gunfight. Neebs gets the spike down. It's going to be another 4 versus 5 retake. They got a little bit of better guns this time, but still, very strong position from M2 here. And Skexy, an op is a great weapon, but it's not really what you want to retake.
No, and Reitman's falling in garage means that the defenders have a lot of angles to worry about. The attackers are feeling very comfortable. M2 looking to take this op out of Skexy's hands. Presence outed in garage, and they're storming back onto the site to retake around the spike. Retake the area around the spike. Asta gonna get flanked here. Puffy finds them. Ooh, this is rough, and it looks like the op is gonna get saved. And Vivian is gonna try to hold on to this Vandal.
Smart choice, honestly. 2 versus 4. Spike is ticking. Very much unwinnable situation, so you might as well just save the guns you have, especially since you're just coming off of the bonus round, so your economy's not going to be super hot. Just keep
Yeah.
the guns for next round and see if you can deny match point, because they are on the brink of match point. M2, 11 rounds have gone in their favor. They only need 2 more to win and put themselves on to match point as well as series point, securing their $70 share in the $100 prize pool. So Divine are going to do everything in their power to stop that, because you do not want to play for OT unless you absolutely have to.
Yeah, true. Although they're not quite at the prize pool yet, we do still have map 2 and map 3 if we go the distance there. But yeah, losing one of these maps would be devastating here for these teams. It's a big disadvantage. M2 putting a lot of pressure onto A. The utility respecting it. It looks like they might be forced off here. And look at mid. It's Brightmans has taken up so much space. Backs off now, but a lot of information garnered there.
Now A site. A lot of presence still there from both of these sides, but I think M2 might be contemplating rotating. The C site is only being held down by Skexy. However, Skexy has an operator in hand, and he has been a menace with it in the early rounds. So you're going to have to be careful with him.
True. Still, we've seen this before out of M2. They wait. They get Asta and Vivian to rotate off, and you can see Asta and Vivian, they want to rotate. They're saying nobody's here, but they're sticking around, and this time it's going to pay off. If Asta finds this opening kill, that will be enormous. They do find one. Neves finds Asta and trade it out, but that might give them enough time for the defenders to come through. You can see this flank is coming out of Gnar. Will it find anything, or will it be shut down by the op coming through CT? I'm still
That is
waiting, but
genius!
they're going to a different site.
On the lurk, Gnar finds a double kill! This is absolutely genius! Spike goes down, forces Exene in a 1 versus 3. I have never seen anything like that before. Absolutely beautiful. And now Exene, Vandal in hand, 125 on the health bar.
A shot goes off. Now the defenders know where Exene is. Utility invested, doesn't find one. Oh, finds the first, finds the second! Not sure where the third is. Spike tapped. Oh, but now they know that they're not on it. Oh, Puffy in the clutch. Wow, Exene looking so close there, but Puffy shuts it down, brings M2 to match point. What a round! I mean, the transition from A to B, keeping Gnar in position so that flank goes from being a flank to being the front line. I mean, that was really smart play out of M2.
That was absolutely amazing, because Gnar, he pushed all the way up through mid, got himself into Link, and he called the rotate onto B. Go back, go through mid. That way he puts himself in the lurk. Absolutely perfect. We call that a switch right there. You put yourself on the flank, and then all of a sudden you call in that rotate. That flank becomes a lurk, and that secures that round right there. And now, 1 round away from securing map 1. 12-5 is the score, and Gnar looking to cause more problems. There's the headhunt, or the tour de force in hand, finding 1 kill, 5 versus 3. And now the defense is looking very broken. It's going to be Skexy to try to save this round and get a couple of kills, but it's just going to take some damage. And now 63 HP to his name, sprayed through the smoke, down to 23. This is so close. This is going to be a really close round. They're going to have to find a way to come through. Skexy finds the first, but gets taken down right after. It's going to be a 2 versus 4 retake, as Neeb's going to get the spike down. Shiny! Breach battles 1. Vivian, desperation. The showstoppers popped, and Neebs comes out on top. Shooting him from the side, finding the head. 13-5 for M2.
Wow. A dominant scoreline there for M2. I mean, 13-5. It is their map pick, though. You know, it was a hype map. I think that M2 came out in style, but they chose to go there. So let's see what Divine can do on their next map. I'm excited. If this is what we're going to see on Bind coming out of Divine, then map 3 will be an absolute bloodbath.
Yeah, map 2. I am very excited for it after what we just saw on map 1. And we still got at least 1 more, just like that. it will be M2 securing series point. One more game and they take the series. It's going to be up to Divine to try to stop that. By the way, we got a posture check. Hachi, make sure to check your posture. Make sure you stretch your back out.
Thank you.
Posture check.
my
Sit up
gosh.
straight. All that.
Whew.
Get your neck all stretched out. We're gonna need it after what we just witnessed. But we'll be right back with map 2 in just a couple of moments. Stay tuned. Why would you want to miss it?
You want it.
Calico is black and white. Just let me go. It's only right for all I know. It's only matter. It's calico. It's black and white. It's black and white. Yeah. Black and white. It's black and white. It's black and white.
Brother, sister, can you hear that? Our heartbeat cutting through the ether. Star drifters, can you feel that? One love can make us all believers. A generation of renegades, we don't have to stay alone. So brother, sister, can you see our light guide us home? We'll paint the sky with our energy, so they can see us from outer space. Through the dark we will radiate. They're gonna see us from outer all the faces in this ocean come together, making memories in motion. We're the traces of the chosen. Let's come together with a heart wide open. A generation of renegades, we don't have to stay alone. So brother, sister, find your spaceship and let it take you home. We'll paint the sky with our energy, so they can see us from outer space. Through the dark we will radiate. They're gonna see us from outer space. They're gonna see us from outer space.
and welcome back to the Frost Esports Whiteout Weekly. We are in the grand finals, and we've just seen M2 convincingly take map 1, Haven of Divine. But now we're heading to Divine's map pick. It's going to be Bind. Starcoin, what do you think about that? What are you expecting to see on Bind? What comps are you hoping for? What do you think Divine need to pull out to win this map?
Well, one thing I'm looking on Bind for is definitely a Viper. Viper's another must-bring agent on a map such as Bind. Another one is a Jet. We haven't seen much Jet this tournament, so I feel like Jet on Bind will be a pretty solid pick here. And of course, this is Divine's pick. M2 on their map pick absolutely rolled through Divine after Divine started out very hot, 3-0 to start us off in very convincing fashion. But the rest of the half, it was 9 straight for M2, and they were able to tag on a few more at the second half.
Yeah, that's true. I am hoping, I think you're right. Jet would be a good pick. I do think Raze would also be a good pick, a bit more of a classic pick, although Jet is definitely coming into the meta. What I'm looking for on Bind, what I'm hoping to see from Divine, is an adaptation of the Brim smokes on the A site that we've seen so much in VCT, trying to cut off that back site, and then, yeah, using the Viper wall, like you said, to take A short, or even to get them onto B, slicing that site up so that the defenders can't hold the ridiculous number of angles that they usually can hold when the B site is unobscured. But we don't have to speculate. We're going to be going to the champion select here in just a second. And I will say, I'm so excited to see, I think, more Chamber on both of these maps. He's a very popular agent right now, and we are really getting a tour de force of Chamber's kit from Gnar. See if that continues.
Yeah, Gnar, he has been on Chamber like a hawk, and he does not want to let him go. Chamber, very, very good agent, and it just fits Gnar's playstyle so perfectly. But actually, Gnar hovering over Viper, not sure if they're gonna lock it in. However, Gnar, they're lurking. And it's gonna actually lock it?
They lock it. They lock it in. I mean,
really?
Otherwise their team would have no Viper. But yeah, I can't believe Gnar not playing Chamber. I mean, name a less iconic duo. What's going on?
Yeah,
Skexy
that is.
stays.
Skexy stays on Chamber. Skexy really good on the Chamber as well. And Gnar, an interesting switch of agent, of course. Sentinel, or Chamber is a Sentinel, really like a kind of a duelist. Not really count. He got a trap, but overall, he's also got teleports and a gun. And of course, Viper, who is a controller with the smokes. It's going to be an interesting change of flow for Gnar.
Yeah, agreed. It's going to be Chamber, a bit of a duelist on defense, but right now we're seeing that Divine is starting off on the offense, which means this Chamber is going to be mostly holding the flank, looking for those late picks, keeping the team safe as they make their way onto a site. I think we're going to see, it looks like a bit of a default here out of Divine, starting things off, leaning a little bit over to the A site. Already the Viper wall coming in A, and a 4-stack on the B site for M2.
Yeah, they put that much faith in Gnar Alma. All they've got is a Viper wall down and a classic 25 shield to his name. Oh, look at the aggression coming out. That's Skexy with the first pick. Dusty, though, takes down one as well. That is Asta dropping. The Sky battle is won by the defense. And now they're making their way onto the A site. Gnar in a little 1-versus-1 until the rest of his team gets here. Manages to sneak past the defense, and he's going to come out, not find the kill. It's Skexy, Headhunter in hand. Takes him down. It's going to be a 3-versus-4 retake for him, too.
Spike already planted. This is looking pretty clean from Divine. A good read on what was going on with the defense there as they ran down B long. Now the retake. Everyone's already here. Mollied off between the box and the truck there. Spray through the smoke for Dusty, doesn't find much, but Shiny Train shuts down Reitman's.
2-versus-3 here. Dusty taps the bomb, looking to come out on top of that exchange with Vivian, but they cannot, and it's Skexy with his 3rd kill of the round.
Wow.
1-0 in favor of Divine. Very efficient A take. Gnar trying to do everything he can to hold it down, but in the end, he gets overpowered.
Absolutely. And I want to highlight again, we saw a lot of them last game, but Vivian, so consistent on this Raze, and now on a map where Raze can really shine. Just gets 1 pick. That's not much this round, but I think they're going to be a player to keep their eye on as we head into these later rounds. Because Ray's hopping around, getting into U-Haul with a judge. Classic kind of cheeky play that you can see on Bind.
Yeah, you are right about that, but how annoying is it to play against it?
True.
And that's one thing that is like if you're playing against a ratty Raze that just kind of not necessarily a ratty Raze, but just a Rambo Raze that uses the blast pack and runs in with a judge, it can be kind of difficult on the mental.
Yeah, it can be. But look at that. Dusty found out with the shorty bit by the boom bot. Tries to get one with it by just rushing forward. Finds nothing. And look at this. Neebs on the flank with another shorty. This team loves shorties.
That they do. However, will it be used is the question. Now, there's Skexy and Asta both with a kill. Makes this a 5 versus 2. It's going to be a 2 versus 5 retake up to Shiny Trains and Neebs. Shiny Trains with the Frenzy. And then there's Neebs with a go! Neebs! Double kill secured. Looking to make it a triple and make Shiny Trains job a little bit easier. But Exene comes out on top right there, leaving Shiny Trains in a 1 versus 3. Frenzy in hand, 66 HP in the health bar.
Yeah, Shiny Trains definitely not going to save, but it's a hard retake. I think they're just going to play for a little bit of damage, have a little bit of a fun time here when the smoke drops. Just playing around in CT. Can they find even one? Oh, they hear the footsteps leaving. Will they line up? Train looking for one. Oh, finds it. What a shot, but Asta shuts it down. Keeps the round relatively clean for Divine.
And there we go. Exene and Asta get away with their lives. Reitmans cannot quite do it as Shiny Trains with a Frenzy shuts that down. Takes a little bit of money off of the Divine side, but ultimately not enough to cause too much of an impact. And here we go. Round 3. This is the bonus round for Divine. They got one Phantom with Light Shields, a couple of Spectres, Frenzy, and a Classic. So this round should go in favor of M2. It's going to be up to Divine to try to find as many picks as possible. Pretty much the
Classic was updated to a Bucky at the last second. Vivian just rocking a Bucky and Hookah. That's something. That's a luck.
Yep, that is Raze on Bind for you. Sometimes you just buy a Bucky or a Judge and you can just completely ruin the other team's day. And now Vivian double satchels and he completely ruins Puffy's day. They might be able to catch Neebs here too if the smoke will dissipate at the right time. Neebs so close to being on the other side. Well, they are on the other side, but close to being the recipient. There's Skexy. 1 versus 3 now as Vivian falls. Skexy gonna push up. Gets splashed. Alma will fall as well as Nebs. It's all on the sky. That's Dusty. 1 versus 1. 21 HP versus 150. This round definitely going in favor of Dusty. However, this might just be doable if he plays his cards right.
Yeah, and Skexy, regardless of whether Skexy wins or loses this duel, this is already a very successful bonus for Divine. They have absolutely shattered M2's economy. And keep in mind, Dusty is just in a mental fog after not accepting my friend request between map 1 and map 2. So this is a really rough play for them here. Skexy making their way onto site. The footsteps heard, and Dusty not so distracted that they can't wrap that round up.
Dusty, 150 HP, stays like that, and Skexy cannot secure the 1 versus 3. And Dusty, I think he's just using it as a spiteful tool. I don't think it is affecting him at all. He's doing it to fuel him. They know. They know. They've got a friend request. So they're trying to get out of this game as fast as possible to accept it. They are using it as fuel.
You want to play?
So
Let's
true.
play.
That's what's going on. You're right. You're right. You're right. That's all it is. And look at this. Divine. They've invested this chamber elf to keep their economy nice, and they've got these guns. A lot lost in the last round. Meanwhile, M2 only 1 Vandal, 2 friends, 3 Frenzies, and a Sheriff. So should be easy work, but unfortunately they're walking right into a 4 stack here. They can't possibly know that, but this is such a cheeky play from Neebs. From all 3 of them, really. I mean, what is this? Almost disrespectful.
I'm not quite sure why they're attempting this or even what they're attempting, to be But yeah, they're definitely trying it. Neves actually going to push around. It's Reitman's coming out on top, to be expected when you got a Phantom versus a Frenzy. There's Puffy taking the fall. Alma, though, with the Sheriff in hand, getting some work done. Alma finding another, cannot find a third, though. And it's going to be up to Dusty. Vandal, 150 HP for him. This clutch is doable, but he's going to have to be careful right here.
And there's the brim smokes I was talking about, cutting off backside, giving the attackers time, and Skexy finds Dusty. Wow. Takes the peek and it pays off. Guns retrieved. It is looking like Divine want to make a statement here on Bind. Take us all the way to map 3. They've got 3, and their economy is looking clean as M2, not even forced, but they get another gun round on the board.
That they do, and now Neebs, the only one on the M2 side that is not full buying, but they're about as close as full buying as you can get without full buying. Vandal and Light Shields leaving no money in the bank. Meanwhile, the ult's definitely in favor of M2, so it will not surprise me if we see an ult get popped right here. It looks like we will. That is Nar Alma with the Viper's Pit. Neebs and Shiny Trains just whiffing on the shots, and that gives 2 easy kills over to Divine. It's going to be up to Puffy to try to save this A site. And just like that, A site completely surrendered. That will almost completely secure this fourth round. It looks like Dusty and Nar are just going to chill out in the ult.
Yeah, it looks like, why waste the Viper's Pit? We're going to save anyway. We're not going to win a 2v5. Let's just sit in the pit, make them come to us if they want to go hunting. And I think only Skexy really does want to go hunting, which is interesting because if I was Skexy and I had $400 in my pocket, I might want to save everything I got my hands on. I guess their teammates will buy them up, but they're exploring around, checking all the angles, as is our observer here. Just taking a little tour of the B site as Skexy makes their way up B long. We can see inside this pit. Dog through hookah clears that, and Skexy finds Alma a huge pick.
Reitman's jumping around the corner, and Dusty, though, able to find 2 that'll strip a little bit of money away from the offensive side. And here comes the timeout, which I do not blame M2 for taking up one bit. Score 4-1. They were able to win the bonus round, but ever since then, they've been completely shut down. They had a chance to do something in that last round, but they really only got a couple of kills at the end when it didn't really matter. So, yeah, the strength of the hold was just not quite good enough. So they're definitely talking about how they can strengthen up, get a bit tighter, play a lot better, because that round was not their best showing.
No. I think the observer, though, they know something that we don't know. They're investigating one part of every agent's face as we've got this timeout here, maybe looking for a little insight. I thought before we were going to see if there were textures up the nostrils on Raze, but it seems like there aren't. But yeah, I agree with you. As we head into the 6th round, they've got to be looking for an answer. They've got 4 ults on the side of M2. And they invested 1 ult last time. I feel like they've got to be looking, how do we make use of this? How do we read this defense? When are we going to use the Seekers to figure out where the push is coming from? When are we going to use that Fade ult for a retake? And we just aren't seeing any of that utility usage that we've come to expect from M2. They're usually so good at getting the information and clearing all the angles, but this map just doesn't seem to be for them.
You might be right about that. They might be holding on to the utility for a little bit too long. Of course, you don't want to have a wasted ult. However, you cannot just let it sit there, because eventually you either use it or you lose it. And if they use it now, they'll probably have enough time to get another one. And there's Vivian, Vandal in hand, taking down Dusty. They find the first kill of this round. That gets one of the ults off board.
Such a clutch ult to get off, too. That means no Seekers. They can put the push anywhere, but they put it right onto the B site. Nor gets some damage in, but shut down pretty quickly by Skexy, leaving Shiny Trains in elbow. The footsteps there will be heard. Will Shiny... Ooh, Puppy gets a pick on the A site from the lurker of Exene. They're going to be using the teleporter, I'd imagine, after they pick this gun up. No, going for the lurk. Some wallbangs from Shiny Trains shut down by Asta. You'll love to see the attempt, but I think Puffy is just going to be saving this Phantom into the next round as our observer heads to the next round themselves, floating up into the sky and back over to where Divine is. 4 players on the site. They're shooting around. They're not getting too paranoid. Wow.
No reason to. 4-round lead after the spike goes off, and Puffy making the smart choice to save the Phantom for the next round. They were coming off of a pretty light buy, so the economy is not going to be doing too horribly. Not going to be doing too great, but it will be enough to at least get them by for this next round. However, this next round is a must-win for M2. I don't think there's any ands, ifs, or buts about it. If you do not win this next round, you are going to be in deep, deep, deep trouble.
Already economically, we're starting to see a rough spot forming here for M2. I mean, yeah, sure, they're losing on rounds. They're only going to be getting they've lost 3 rounds in a row, which means they're getting their max loss bonus of 2,900, but they're not getting spike plant money. You know, they're not getting to save guns into the next round very often. So we're seeing that not only are they falling behind, they're on scraps here, but also Divine are just looking incredible. They're looking divine. Some of these players will be maxed out if they win this round and keep their weapons without dying. I mean, it's a rough situation for M2, which is, I think, the first time all night we've seen M2 really struggling to put a couple of rounds on the board.
We will see if that continues or if they can pull themselves together and get themselves at least on a site, because I don't believe that we have seen I do not believe that we have seen a defuse yet. No, we have not. We've only seen that bonus round coming in, and that was done by elimination. So they're going to have to find a way to either find some more kills or retake those sites. But the problem is, on the retake, most of your manpower is already done for. They were lost on the push. So it might be in their interest to try to play for retake. But here we see a couple of ults coming out. The Nightfall from Fade as well as the Seekers. There's Vivian taking down Nar Alma, but not before Nar can find at least one. Even this round up to a 4 versus 4, but the B hit's coming in. However, the defense is going to get there before the spike does. This might be their best shot at taking a round. But Vivian. Oh, Vivian. This could be absolutely huge. Vivian on the lurk. They can completely shut this down.
Reitmans finds Dusty, but Neebs in a hookah takes out Exene, is taken out by Reitmans. What an incredible lurk. One defender left. The spike will go down. It's a 2v1 as Trains makes their way onto site. Shut down by Reitmans. Oh my gosh. That was such a clutch lurk. I mean, Skexy going down meant the trap wasn't online, and it was such a flank out of Neebs. I really thought it was going to get more value. But that's all they found was one before they were shut down. Reitmans just had an absolute banger of a round. Just came out guns a-blazing.
And a huge play from Vivian as well, applying pressure on that west side. Just really not allowing them to get over to elbow. And if they really wanted to, they could have swung around earlier and got at least 2 kills. Would not surprise me if they were able to get a triple. However, they were able to just keep it on the down low. They got 1 kill and left it up to Reitmans to secure that round. But here we go. Once again, M2 has just been completely opened wide up. And right here, the A site is actually pretty wide open for the people pushing through short.
But there is also, yeah, for short, absolutely. But this Brim, what you may not know, viewers, is that's with a little judge. So if they get a little too frisky on showers, I think Puffy is going to shut this down in short order. Reitman's backing up, respecting it. Asta finds one, but will be found by Puffy. Doesn't quite get the upgrade. Might re-smoke themselves. Oh my gosh, Puffy is just going for the clips. They're in it for the clips, but meanwhile, the attackers are on site. They have U-Haul control, and it is still a 4v4. Exene and Vivian working their way up.
Shining Trains trying to retake the site or try to do something to stop the spike from going down. All the Viper has to do is get on the site, but no! They're going to rotate. They call in the flanks. They call it the rotates, and now they get themselves onto B site. They've got control over it. It's really only Null that has a realistic chance of stopping it. Now it is only Null that is alive. Artho, with the Sheriff, takes the first one down, and then there is Exene through the corner. And if you look at the scoreboard, you got 7-1. Reminds me of the 2014 World Cup.
Wow. That is a pull that I cannot match. I don't know what happened in the 2014 World Cup, but
7-1. Germany beats Brazil.
Oh,
I'm sorry,
man.
I'm a Rocket League caster. That's the meme in our community.
I'll
I'll keep it there. I'm sorry.
No, all good, all good. Oh, right, because it's soccer cross. That makes more sense to me now. But I want to highlight something, because we've seen a lot of incredible plays out of Divine on this map. But that flick out of Nar Alma, I know they didn't win the round, but what a flick onto that first kill. I was a believer there for a second. That is the kind of aim you get when you accept my friend request.
And then I shot her face. Now I'm a believer.
Exactly. Not a tracer out in the smoke. Oh, here we go. After dogging out, Shiny Train's noted. But the Prowler will push these attackers back. And meanwhile, look over at B. The attackers have worked their way all the way up into Garden. 2 defenders, 1 under Hookah, 1 in it. Reitman's looking to get a little bit more space onto site.
Need still just holding a close angle. Meanwhile, these attackers can push up through long and take some space open. Because Neeb's taking up a lot of presence in Hookah. And they've just completely abandoned long. Neeb's, though, adjusting his position. He's going to see the cross, but Reitman's might be expecting it. Neeb's will take the first one, but he's going to get shut down right then and there. There's Shiny Trains taking down Vivian, looking to do some more. 1-man advantage in favor of M2s. Not as soon as I said much at this game. Not for long, though, as Skeksis, Shiny Trains both finding kills, evens this round right back up at a 2 versus 2. Meanwhile, Viper's Pit has been popped for Exene's going to make this retake really difficult.
Yeah, it is. And no utility, or no ultimates, rather, for these defenders. Not a lot of utility either. And it looks like Puffy is trying to spray them down. Suspects maybe where Exene is. I want to call it out. Exene had a gutsy plan there. Puffy does find Exene. That means the pit will come down. Dusty taps the spike, but doesn't stick it. Skeksis now aware of that. Finds Dusty. Might not expect the stick. Doesn't expect it, but oh! Puffy comes off to finish the round up. Do they have time? Yes! Puffy clutches, 1.2 seconds left, and the kill secured. They get the second on the board for M2.
Skeksis, they just could not find the head, a little bit too quick on the shot. And just like that, M2 find their second round of the game. But they're going to need a lot more because their economy's still not in the best spot. They're going to need to win another push now. Looks like we're
having a bit of a tech issue here. Oh, for me as well, I guess? Why am I all dark? The game is continuing, though.
Yeah. Where did you go?
I don't know. You know what? I'm with the producer in the booth. I'm going to focus on that. If you want to keep telling the viewers what they're not seeing, but what they might be hearing.
Yeah, I will keep telling them what's going on. It's like I'm a radio announcer. As A site has almost been completely given up. There's a couple of people over there trying to deny it. Puffy takes down Asta over near the A site. That'll keep Shower's control in defender favor, as it looks like we are actually back in, so you guys can see what's going on as well as hear our beautiful voices. 5 versus 4 retake, not for long though. Vivian takes it down, but Puffy on the retake finds 2 more. 3 on the round for them. Might look to make it an ace. Puffy, bad spot. Rain from above. The orbital strike comes down. It's on Skeksis to save this round, and the retake comes in. Puffy finds a 4th, and Neebs takes 1 down, and they have secured their 3rd round of the game.
Holy cow! 3 rounds. That's 2 in a row now for M2 on the back of Puffy. A player who is really stepping up here. Not just the controller, but it turns out the clutch player for M2 in map 2.
Yeah, Puffy, 2 rounds have come off of heroic plays from them. Just like that, the 1 versus 2, or the stick it and then come off of it and finding that last kill. And of course, that 4K securing that round. And they've got the 3rd round. There's a possibility that they can take us into halftime with a score of 7-5.
Yeah.
They're going to have to keep shutting down Divine, which is going to be a really, really hard task.
It is. And Puffy gets the first engagement here in Hookah, forced out as these defenders look to come up into B long, into B strong. Oh! Divine finds Gnar, and Hookah control is completely taken. A Viper ult was invested on the side of M2 early on in this round, but it was completely wasted on the A site. Dusty finds 2. Reitmans finds Dusty. And we're down into a 3v2. 1 defender on each site, 3 attackers rather on B.
Looks like they are going to try the B site, but guess who is the last man on that site? It's Puffy. We've seen them do heroics before. We might see him do it again. Oh, the showstopper lights him up down to 33. They light up 4 of the 3K. Puffy with heroics does it again. Secures the 4th round for M2, and they are right back in this game. Absolutely unreal. Puffy has stepped up in such a huge way.
Last round.
I mean, is it even a clutch at this point? I'm coming to just expect it. There was a showstopper aimed at their face. They just brush it aside. They get a 3K. They defuse the spike. It's over. And now look at this. Now we're seeing an eco almost, a light buy coming in from Divine. A team that won 5 rounds in a row, only lost their bonus until Puffy turned their monitor on, I guess. And wiggled their mouse, set that DPI to something different, and just popped off.
Yeah, that they absolutely have. All of a sudden, it just seems like the last 3 rounds, Puffy has become a completely brand new player. And they're shiny trains with the operator in hand, finding the first kill, taking down Exene. And that's going to get rid of the Viper right there. There's still the Brimmy, so the smokes are still there. But Viper is a huge part of your comp. Having that taken away is going to have an impact.
Oh yeah, absolutely. These Seekers are clutch. They're showing the attackers where the defenders are. Neves takes out Vivian in the meantime. It's down to just 3 attackers, and at least one of them doesn't have sound anymore. 2 fall. It's just Chamber left. What can he do? Not too much. Skexy is cleaned up, and the half is over. 7-5. I don't think any of us expected this kind of a comeback from M2.
Absolutely unreal. M2. They have completely stepped up. I think that was exactly what they needed. Puffy, he made a couple of heroic plays, and they have just completely fired the rest of their team up. Sometimes that's all you need. Sometimes you just need one player to step up, and sometimes it doesn't even need to be big. Sometimes you need to make one good play, get your team hyped up, hurt the mental of your opponents just enough to make a difference. And now they've got momentum 4 rounds straight for M2. And if they can take this pistol round, they're going to be in a very, very good spot.
Yeah. This pistol round is turning out to be extremely... I mean, they all are, but if M2 takes this pistol round, it's not just worrying for the map. It's worrying for the match if you're a Divine fan.
Yeah, because let's not forget, M2, they took map 1 very convincingly.
Yeah.
I believe it was 13-5.
Yeah.
And they're on match point. All they need to do is bring this back, take this map 2, and they will secure the tournament.
Yep, absolutely. And they're exploring up A short. A lot of presence here on A and 3 defenders over on B. The Chamber not set up for a quick rotate, so I'm curious what we're going to see. But the call is made and the push is slowed way down, which gives the defenders a lot of time to rotate over here. I'm not exactly sure why they did that. Waiting for sound cues, waiting for them to second guess. Maybe for the rotate to go the other way. Didn't quite work out. Brim smokes off backside. The flash comes through. No trade found for Asta. A bit whiffy on that one, but Skexy trades out Neebs.
Spike trying to get the spike down.
Yeah.
But they're having a real rough time with it. Finally, they will get the spike down. Not too much HP to their name, but it's definitely enough to cause some problems. 4 versus 4 here as the retake trying to come in. But they've got a really nice hold on it. Spike will get smoked off by the Brim. Reitman's on the spike will try to defuse now. Spikeman, he's got the half. He's going to have to try to take him off it, but he's going to stick it through the smoke. Just like that, they've secured the round. And Divine completely stop any momentum that M2 has.
What a sit and stick. I mean, what a moment there. I was watching the kills come in. I wasn't looking at the defuse. I thought, oh, they'll come off. They'll try to get a kill. No, they stick it. They trust their teammates. And right when they needed it most, that pick comes in to keep the attackers from pushing back into that Brim smoke. So clutch. So big there for Divine. They needed that pistol round to put themselves on a very good footing to win this whole map.
Yeah, they do. They just got to keep it up. They get their economic ball rolling.
I don't want to interrupt you here, but we do have a bit of a force out of M2. We've got I got a Guardian even in the hands of Dusty.
Guardian?
Yeah, this is a big force coming out. Just wanted to call that out before we see any engagements.
Yeah, that is big. They aren't deciding to save. They're deciding to force and do as much damage as they can. They really want to keep this game within arm's reach. And this is a very winnable round. 4 Spectres and Heavies for Divine. Meanwhile, Neebs using the Blast Pack into U-Haul. Gets the kill onto Vivian. Has to taking down Nar Alma, though. But they're in an awkward spot. 13 HP, and they're all the way behind. Dusty is watching the angle like a hawk. There's really nothing they can do here. They got a flash, but there's nothing they can do! Dusty, with the Guardian, takes him down. 4 versus 2 is going to be the 2 versus 4 retake here. It's going to be really difficult because Dusty's got the Guardian. He's going to watch heaven. There's Xene finding the short-range shots onto Neebs, but Puffy's there for the trade. It's all on the Brimmy Reitmans. But this is such an unwinnable situation.
Reitman's looking to make it winnable. Flashed out. It's even harder now. With the Spectre their name, they go down. Trains finds the shot there with the Sheriff. Wow. I mean, that was a statement round. That was big. And now either of these teams could come back and do it. A huge, huge force out of M2 to put themselves back on even footing with Divine. I really want to call out, we saw the Blast Pack into Truck, but what was, I think, most impressive about it is that right when Neebs was peeking around to try to find Vivian, I think it was, in the U-Haul area, in that ratty little corner, at the same exact time, Trains had a Prowler that was coming in from the other angle, so it was forcing their crosshair to look back at that entrance, giving Neebs an easy kill with the Bucky.
Yeah, absolutely. When you got communication like that, it just makes it easy. And now we see a 5-stack over at the B site, leaving a wide open. They might be playing to save. They might be playing for retake here. Or they might just be trying to force the push into B. But A is wide open.
Oh my gosh. And
no.
It looks like M2 haven't realized this. They're going to rotate back to B, but at the same time,
oh my
rotating to A. It's a comedy of errors. The timing here, but still.
Oh no.
One shorty at least is sitting in hookah. Oh, yep,
Right
and
here.
I think another shorty is going to be sitting over at Garden, so it's still a deadly round for our defenders here.
This is absolutely unreal. The timing in this tournament has been absolutely outrageous. There is Reitman sitting with the shorty in hand, so close, yet so far from this kill. Neebs, all he's gotta do is push up. Oh, he heard it! He heard it! Oh no! Reitman falls down, and Neebs secures the first kill, secures the second as well, and that's B-side completely opened up, and there is simply nothing that Divine can do to stop it. It's gonna be up to a 3v5 retake with 3 classics and heavy shields for one of them. That is...
Yeah.
Oh, that one was so rough.
So rough. Now, because Reitman's pulls out the utility, they can't hear that. Even though it makes a sound for your team, it doesn't make a sound for the enemy team when you pull out I think all utility in the game, actually. Only reloading, jumping, and footsteps make noises for the enemy team. And you can actually see that now as Asta's made a footstep for Dusty to hear. Comes around the corner. Obviously, things like the flashes also make some noises, like wind-up noises and things like that. But most utility isn't hearable. But who cares? 5v2. The round's a formality. Diffuse can't come in. Skexy gets one. Nothing to lose for it. Why not push into sight? They died in spike.
7-8 is the score. Economic advantage in favor of M2. They can almost force buy. Actually, they can force buy.
They can.
They
Yeah,
can
they
full
can buy
buy.
anything that round. Yeah.
Divine can full buy. M2, they're sticking with the Guardian and Spectre because they have money. This is pretty much just a force buy right here, or a bonus round. It's a pretty aggressive bonus round as they've got a lot of guns, but that's just simply due to how unique the start of the half has been.
Yeah, you take that second round after losing the first, and your economy goes into sort of a weird space, especially when your opponent chooses to save. Oh, Xene gets the first kill. It seems like it might be absolutely free. No, traded out by Nar Alma. They are so disciplined on M2 getting this trade every single time. The Prowler and Seeker confirms. Skexy tries to spray down Dusty, but a little too good with that Guardian. Traded out for a Phantom. And the B-side falls.
Puffy gets the spike down. Going to be up to Reitman's Vivian and Asta on the retake. And Asta might actually pop the Seekers here. this is a viable option as it's a 3 versus 4 retake. You might need a little bit more help. Shiny Trains, though, taking down Reitman's makes this a little bit harder. 4 versus 2 here, and this clock is ticking. There's Gnar trying to find the head. Finally, the headshot comes in, does a whole lot of damage to the body shots, and on the last shot, it is a headshot. And there's Asta forced to run away, and they're going to be on the hunt. Puffy looking to cut him off, and they will do it. Perfect trap right there. Ties this match up at 8. Ties this map up at 8, excuse me.
Wow. I mean, M2, they're coming back in. Here we go. Divine, call a timeout. Divine Asta. And we're going to see if Divine can change the half up at all. Their economy is in a rough spot. They've only got one ult to their name, that Chamber ult, which will at least help with buys. And thank goodness, that gives us another minute to examine the inside of everybody's nose. This time, whose nose are we looking up? Can we back up a little bit? Who is this?
Look at the skies.
Oh, this is Sky's nose. Yeah, good. Good. That's important. Thank you. Somebody said this was a Dark Souls meme. Is it the no maidens meme? Is that what we're thinking of? I feel like that's usually the other, like the above angle.
I think so, but in the end, does not really matter.
No.
All I am happy about is that we get to see the close up of the agents' faces because they are all so beautiful.
Yeah, that's what Valorant is sold on. The gunplay is nice, but the faces are where it's at. Speaking of facing, I think Divine are facing some rough odds on this next round. What a transition. But M2's economy is booming. They've got guns for days. They've got money for days. And it seems like they've got, to be honest, it seems like they've got a really rough read on the map. Like, they keep on rotating at times. It doesn't make sense. But Divine do too. So I guess it's working out in M2's favor. But it sort of seems sloppy from both teams after a really tight first half.
That it is. And one thing that I will say is in those last few rounds, it was M2 coming out on top. Meanwhile, it just seemed to pick up, except for the pistol round. The pistol round was an exception. But other than that, they have been flawless and they have won out. And I think that is due to the fact that it's so easy to, or it's not so easy, but it's easier to carry momentum over from defense onto offense. Because like you're already fired up from winning a couple of rounds. If you put that onto offense where your whole goal is to push aggressively and play aggressive, then I think you got a perfect monster. And there we see Neebs. First shot coming out, taking down Reitman's. The blast pack play puts themselves onto the site. The spike goes down. There's Gnar. Phantom in hand. Finds the headshot. 5 versus 3. And it's going to be another disadvantageous retake for Divine.
Oh, Gnar, just so clean. Looking to get back up that leaderboard. And now it's a 2v5 retake. His ult is online. Really nothing to lose for Skexy. And it seems like Exceed has decided to throw their lot in with them. Just runs into U-Haul and gets absolutely sprayed out. Doesn't even trade one with them. This spike is looking to go down, and if none of the attackers peek an angle... Oh, Skexy finds one. Doesn't quite connect the second. Time being bought here by the attackers, just toying with them. But Skexy sort of has nothing to lose here. Oh, especially not their head. Not after that. Oh, tries to save a Phantom, but a little too slow.
Just a little bit. They took a little bit too long holding the angle, and they just pushed up a little bit too late. And they will not get away with the Vandal, and they will fall. However, they're only down by 1 momentum, heavily in favor of M2. But we have seen how fast these teams can completely floor the other's momentum. Going to be up to this round. This is a very, very pivotal round for Divine right here. This is to A, deny double digits, and to B, keep your economy somewhat manageable, because right now it is not so hot.
Yeah, and I think we'll see that once Divine get a read on where this is going, they're going to try to invest this Viper ult to secure the round. They do not want to let the plant go down. They got to win this round. I mean, this is getting into map and match point. There we go. The Viper ult comes out. Attack has been thoroughly slowed. And we're still seeing 3 attackers on the A site. Does Gnar find one? No,
Asta.
Asta finds Gnar. Yeah.
Yeah. Asta putting his team 1 man up. 4 versus 5 side take for M2 now. There's Exene holding a close angle. Shining Strange manages to get past. Out comes the showstopper. Neebs gets taken down. So does Exceed. Neebs with the Hunter's Fury finds 1 kill, and there's Puffy. That completely shuts down the Viper's Pit ultimate. That is huge. That opens up B site. That gives them complete control. The retake comes in quickly. Vivian on the flank. Asta on the retake completely shuts that down. 3 versus 2 now. And Neebs trying to hit the shots, but they just can't. It's all on Puffy. Swings around. Oh, he's almost got it. No, he can't get it. Takes down the spike diffuser, but they just couldn't shoot through the wall. They ran out of bullets, and this game is all tied up.
Wow, that is how close this map has been. I mean, Puffy steps up again. They're 21-7. They get a 4K on the round. And even though they wipe the enemy team, it's just not enough to secure the win. The defuse comes in. Dang. I mean, 21-7. This is a dominant game for Puffy. They are showing up. They're shelling out. And it's paying off big time. They are a big part of the reason why their team is 9-9 right now.
You are absolutely right. Those, not the last 3 rounds, but the first 3 rounds after the big stretch in the first half was 100% thanks to Puffy. And it is an absolute huge part. They're an absolute huge part to their team's success in the later half. Or in the later half of the first half, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I know. I gotcha. I think the viewers gotcha. And look at this. We've got a little save out of Divine. They've got a couple shorties, which they love. A couple sheriffs, which they're fine with, and a marshal, which is, you know, the chamber weapon of choice. They've got 3 stacked over on the A site, but it looks like the spike is making his way back B nice and slow. Asta makes good use of the sheriff. Suspects a trade is there, but there's nothing. Gets a free gun out of it. And that might tell them.
Like,
okay.
Oh no!
Spike down.
What happened there?
Oh no, it might just fall apart here. This might give Divine double digits if they're able to keep this up. There's a lot of spice open near the B side, but once again, Divine's rotating off of A right when the rotate from M2 comes on to A.
30 seconds left.
It's like the 3rd time we have seen this.
I know, it's crazy. They're playing such a smart game here. Reitman still holding this down with just a shorty. Seems to be double taking it. Oh, Alma! Not going to be caught out again. And it's a 3v3 retake on the A site. Oh, devastating.
And the guns are not very good for Divine. The Viper's Pit's going to come out. That might just secure this round because they've got a shorty. And this is not the gun you want. I believe he's going to switch it out for a marshal. But once again, that's not what you want for the Viper's Pit retake. Here's Skexy, though. Might have a good position. He might get the timing on Gnar. Gnar will fall. 2 versus 3 now in favor of Divine. Puffy might get the timing on him. Yes, he does. Skexy falls. 2 versus 2 retake. Now the spike is ticking. Out comes the orbital strike. That's going to delay just enough time. Dusty wins the sky battle. Vivian, 1 versus 2 to keep the other team off of double digits, trying to put their own team on it. But it just cannot happen. Puffy stepping up once more. 3 kills on the round. Double digits for M2.
I mean, no time there to defuse and find 2 for Vivian. Such a tall task. Puffy is so reliable in that round. The use of the ult to block the players off from U-Haul to the spike, making it even harder to get that defuse off. And coming in with a couple of clutch kills from Shower. I mean, they're on fire tonight. And their team's economy is proving it. But this time, we're going to see Divine force up. They didn't force into the last round, like I said. Just marshals, Bucky, sheriffs. And this time, it's not even a force. It's just a gun round, really. And, oh, the Boombot doesn't spot Exene. Wow, that was a bit fishy, but Exene gives themselves away with that shot, and Neebs takes up an insane angle here. What a weird play from both these players. And some pressure coming up B long as well. Neebs probably expected. Gnar finds 1, doesn't expect a second.
They're there. Narma. Oh,
Exene
look
finds
at that.
Neebs.
Gnar gets the kill anyway. 4 versus 3 now. B site heavily defended, but A site, it's only Reitman's. Phantom in hand, he's got the intel, but the Prowler comes out. That gives away his position, and he's forced to fall back into a not-so-good angle.
And seized up, cannot leave the C's. Gnar takes advantage and gets the 3K on the round. Looking like 11 on the board for M2, unless these last 2 Divine players can come up with something. It's Skexy and Exene.
Spike planted.
Exene's already found 1 on the round. Skexy has been reliable this whole time. Puffy holding this angle. Skexy needs to be aware of it. Cannot slow walk this angle or they will get their head ripped off. They find Puffy and Exene finds Alma at the same time. It's now a 2v2 in a matter of seconds. Spike being tapped. The flash out. The fuse out.
Dusty!
Wow.
Double kill from Dusty. Secures round 11. And now, what do you do here? You don't have enough money to full buy. You are super far away from that. You can't really even buy Spectres and Fulls. You can barely do that. I think you can. Yeah, you can barely do that. But the other team one round away from match point. Do you force or do you play for OT? This might be the decision of the match.
It really will be. I think they're going to force up. I think we've got 2 ults online. I think they're going to... Not, sorry. I think they're going to light buy up. We've got 2 ults online already, and I think we're going to see the Chamber and Viper try to get these ult orbs. Yep, we see Chamber going for the B ult orb. They're fighting for the Showers ult orb. On the other side of the map, they find Asta. Asta finds Nar Alma with a classic headshot. Oh, no, a Sheriff headshot. There we go. Ooh. Skexy did not take the ult orb. Looking to get a kill against Puffy, the Clutch King.
Now, Asta looking to get aggressive, trying to secure that ult orb. There is Skexy falling. And that's going to get that ultimate line. That's going to shut that down immediately. Shiny Trains trying to hold him off. Exene with the crossfire swings around. That's going to secure a Phantom. And that's going to give it up. B-side, Reitman's falls off of B at the wrong time. They've got a Bucky. They're going to have to do something, though.
They're playing the smoke. They're hoping for these attackers to drop back to long.
But they the Trailblazer.
Do they dodge the Trailblazer? They did.
Yeah, they did. They did. Gonna be the rotate here. Puffy holding the angle. Finds the first, looking for the second. He's got it. There it is. 3K. Almost an ace. It's just Reitman. This is for match point. And this might just secure the round. They might not have enough money for it. Reitman's 1 versus 3. Classic in hand. The Bucky's not an option here. They find the first headshot, but it's not enough. Dusty secures match point. And this is for the tournament right here.
Wow. I mean, Puffy just putting the team on their back round and round again. How many 4Ks have we seen? How many 3Ks? And I want to call out the kind of player that Puffy is. They 4K'd. They knew the position of the 5th player. And you know, in the comms, they weren't saying, let me ace, let me ace, let me ace, let me ace. They played smart. They played back. They let their team hold the angles. And it paid off. I mean, 12-9. This is an unreal performance out of Puffy. Absolute match MVP at the moment. Somebody else will have to step up to this level just to get us to OT.
Oh, absolutely. By far, Puffy is the match MVP. And now, Divine, they have enough to buy Vandals, but one of them has to go with the Light Shield. Viper Pit Ultimate's coming out, but Needs is going to launch over it. Great shot from Vivian, shuts him down. 5 versus 4 here. It's going to be a 4 versus 5 retake. Or 4 versus 5 site take, excuse me.
Yeah, no sweat. And it looks like it's going to be 4v3 on the actual site itself, as these defenders have not moved. The Viper's Pit is giving them the room to breathe. They need this angle, and thank goodness Skexy not exploring up B long again. That was a little wild last time. Puffy calling their shot. Bird confirms presence. And Reitman's going to fall off. Presence confirmed in Garden as well. This is going to get checked hard. Shiny Train finds Reitman. And that's a rough position to be in if you're a defender.
Skexy, bad spot. Swings around, takes down one, but it's Gnar with the classic in hand. Seeker's coming out as well. Bad spot to be in for Asta. The side takes coming in. Vivian with the showstopper, trying to cling on to this round and keep it online. Look at this, though. The rotate's coming out. He might not get there, though. Dusty, 1 HP to his name. They're going to have to try to stick it. Down goes Puffy. This round will be going to Divine, and it's not over just yet.
It's not, but look at the M2 economy. They have no trouble buying into the next round. They could get ops if they wanted to. Divine still finding their footing. They're able to buy up. They're able to get a gun in everybody's hands. They're able to get all that utility, but they invested a lot into that round. Losing the Viper's Pit on Bind is a big, big loss. They still have Skexy's Chamber ult coming into this. They also have a Brim ult, which could help deny the plant, but we haven't seen it used in quite a few rounds. Reitman's kind of just sitting on it. And on the other side, we've got a Viper's ult and a Brim ult for M2 as well. I don't know. I'm a little nervous. 3 defenders on the wrong site, and the B hit is coming in fast, while Chamber is still getting set up. Skexy, what are you doing? Do you have your ult out? You do.
You
Go.
got it up by the Prowler. He's gonna get blinded. All the dueling orbital strikes right here. And Reitman's, he got super lit up now. 5 versus 5 still. The B hit is coming in, and Reitman's in a very awkward spot. There's Need using the blast pack to get in. Reitman's falls. Down goes Skexy as well. And B side is forfeited up. 4 versus 3, and the Viper's Pit comes up. That might just be wrapped. It's going to be up to the retake. 3 versus 4. Divine trying to hang on for dear life.
Spamming out the default line. Oh, finds one. Excellent play by Exene, but now their presence is completely known. They find Naralma, the pit goes down. Neebs finds Vivian, it's 2v2, but this is dangerous. And it all falls onto Asta's shoulders. This is map, match, and series point. The whole tournament comes down to Asta's positioning, but Neebs gets the kill, closes the map out. 13-10 for M2, who are your Frost Esports Whiteout Weekly winners for this week. Wow. What a map. I can see you. You're covering your face, Starcoin. You can't believe it. It went down like this.
Wow.
Oh.
Hachi, we can't even see you. You're still gone.
I'm in a dark pit. Ever since Dusty didn't accept my friend request, I'm in a dark hole.
Oh, well, maybe it will happen one day, but that is it. Puffy stepping up in a huge, huge way, putting the team on his shoulders. 28-10. Couple of heroic plays is all it took to get their team back into it. And just like that, it's M2 taking the series into and securing the tournament. And they are your Frost Whiteout champions. They secure the $70. GG's to Divine going home with the $30 prize. But M2, in the end, they played way, way too good. When it looked like they were struggling, they managed to turn it back around in the nick of time. And it just seemed like no matter what Divine was doing, they just did not have an answer for Puffy's heroics.
I mean, who could? You saw plays like that every round. It felt like the comms must have been them being like, "Oh, Puffy, if you could just 4K again, that would make my life a lot easier." And Puffy said, "No worries, I got you." Not only did they have the most kills of anybody in the server, they had the fewest deaths. They only had 10 deaths the entire match. They went 23 rounds. They died 10 times. I mean, it's hard to play against a player where the only way you win is if they're dead. Because when Puffy was alive, every round went the way of M2. What an absolute incredible match. I really think we saw the best 2 teams here tonight facing off, and they pushed each other to the limits. I thought we were going to get to map 3. Didn't quite have enough gas in the tank for Divine there, but no shame in that. Not when a player like Puffy steps up in the way that they did.
Yes, whenever you got a player that just refuses to lose and continue. You're back!
I'm back! Yeah, Dusty accepted my request, so I decided, I can come out and turn my camera on for the last couple minutes.
I'm very glad to have you back, Hachi. Welcome back. You did not miss anything. You were with us in spirit. Hachi, what a tournament. As I was saying, whenever you got a player that just refuses to lose, especially at the level that Puffy was, just seemed like he was not losing. Simple as that. He was not going to lose.
Yeah.
And whenever you're playing against a player like that, it's hard to win. So there is absolutely no fault with Divine. GG's. So close. Better luck next time. And they still come away with second place, which is not something to be ashamed of.
Yeah, better than every team at this tournament besides M2. So nothing to be ashamed of at all. And thank you all again for tuning in for another week of Whiteout Weeklies here at Frost Esports. This one sponsored by Trolley. They make gummy worms, I'm told, which is great, and I love that, and I knew that. So if you know what, if you enjoyed it tonight, I think first of all, obviously drop us a follow so you can be here next week. But second of all, maybe even more importantly, go buy gummy worms. I guess I think that's the real message from both teams today.
Yeah. Thank you for Trolley. Thank you to Trolley for sponsoring the event. Hachimachi, thank you for joining me. You got anything you want to say before we wrap this whole thing up?
I think the lesson we learned today is accept or not accept my friend request. You're gonna win if you're on M2. I mean, if you got a friend like Puffy, that's all you really need in your back pocket. How about you? Any closing remarks?
I don't believe so. I just want to thank everyone who tuned in to watch Tex on production and OBS. Did an amazing job. Give him a big round of applause. But yeah, I've been Starcoin Hero. That has been Hachimachi. Tex has been on production all night. And have a great rest of your night.
When the bartender said it's on the house, you make me wanna fall in love. The weather felt better when we were in it together. Oh, I miss the way we used to talk about love.